As we continue on Opportunity Detroit, happy to welcome to the program Chris Behm. He's the founder of End Grain Woodworking. Nice to see you, Chris.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. End Grain Woodworking was founded in 2011 by Chris and his friend Sam Constantine. They initially began working out of a two-car garage. Initial seed money for the company came when they won $500 from the Detroit Renailed competition, which challenged participants to make a consumer good out of materials reclaimed from blighted buildings in the Motor City, of which there have been many, and therefore we have a lot of material to use. But tell me about this company, End Grain Woodworking, that you started.
It's basically was a labor of love. Sam was an intern for Preservation Detroit, and he caught wind of that competition. It was, hey, what can you make out of this wood that was deconstructed from old houses? We both entered into the competition. He made a bookshelf, and I made a chess set, and he won People's Choice. I won Best in Show, and we just reinvested the money back into our company. Basically bought more tools, bought more wood, and people really liked what we were putting out, and it kind of grew from there.
Let me make sure that I understand this clearly, and our listeners to Opportunity Detroit do as well. Were you together as a company at the beginning here, or because you both met each other through this competition, you both were award winners, then you decided to come together?
Well, me and Sam were friends prior to the competition. He brought it up to me, and I said, yeah, well, I have a garage, and I have a table saw. Let's see what we can make out of this wood. And so it just kind of grew.
Well, what are some of the things you're making out of this wood?
Pretty much the sky's the limit for what can be made. It's crazy to think back since 2011, all the things that we've put out, and it started off with 6 different styles of picture frames, and then it moved to coat hooks, key hooks, candle holders. We've made coasters, beer flights, hanging wall vases, and then there's bigger stuff. We've made benches, cornhole boards, tables, toy chests, blanket chests. Pretty much the sky's the limit for what can be made out of this material.
Well, yeah.
And how do you find the material? How do you find a steady supply of it? How do you know what to choose, what to pick?
That's a great question. We actually work with 2 different companies. One is called Reclaim Detroit, and the other one is the Architectural Salvage Warehouse. They train people to do the deconstruction. So people that might not otherwise have a job are learning a skill set to take the nails out of the wood, take the houses down the right way. They're trained in asbestos removal and lead-based paint removal. They bring it to their warehouse where we will go fill up our pickup truck, bring it back to our shop, and start cutting.
The thing that always gets me about this is when you start a business like this, you might have an unlimited supply of product. But when you start a business like this and you have an unlimited supply of product, the people you've been getting the product from start to notice that you actually have a pretty good business going here, and they say, well, gee whiz, he's doing pretty well. He's making cool stuff and making money. Maybe I don't need to get this stuff hauled away like I thought I did. Maybe I need to sell it. Does that affect what you do?
Oh, we pay for it. We've been paying for it since day one. It's 100% legal. It's not like we're going.
I never.
No, but it's getting more expensive because of it.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, we have seen an increase in price since when we first started. They're a lot tighter with what goes out of their shops now.
It's that old expression that one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Absolutely.
And once that other man realizes it's somebody else's treasure, it's not so much junk anymore.
Right. Well, the good thing for us is, I think I heard in 2013 there was like 70,000 abandoned structures in Detroit that, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a shortage of wood.
No, I know. I said at the beginning, unfortunately, you have an unlimited supply right now.
It'll get there eventually. Now, when you pick up a piece of wood, do you know what you're going to do with it?
Sometimes we'll go shopping for specific projects that we've been commissioned to begin. Sometimes we'll just pick up, stock wood that we'll make picture frames out of, or we'll.
I want to know who picked up the piece of wood and said, "Oh, a beer tap handle."
Yeah, exactly.
So that wasn't us. We were approached by Atwater, and it just kind of took off from there. We put out extensive prototypes to come to where we were at now. But it wasn't our idea.
It wasn't your idea, but it is you.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that's one of your great latest ventures, making the beer tap handles for Atwater Brewery from reclaimed materials.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Cool.
We couldn't be more excited about it. They're a great company to be involved with, and it's been a process, but it's been good all the way around.
So it's been so good all the way around that you and Sam have been able to, how do I put it, quit your day job. Is that right?
That is true, yeah. We got out of the two-car garage. We're in a nice big maker space now. We have all the tools that we need, and it didn't take any seed money. We did it all out of sweat equity, I guess you'd call it. Mm-hmm. We would make a piece, and then we'd sell it, and then we'd buy another tool. Then we'd make something else. We'd sell it, and we'd buy another tool until we had enough to put down on a building.
You have N-Grain. We're speaking with Chris Behm, founder of N-Grain Woodworking, with his partner and friend Sam Constantine. As we've already heard, they've started out in a two-car garage. Business has been very good. They've worked very hard. They're out of that two-car garage and doing lots of different items, including being approached by the folks at Atwater Brewery, and they took some of the reclaimed materials and made beer tap handles out of the wood. And the demand for these products has certainly spiked. There are a lot of people who are very interested in what you do. And I suspect that means that it can't just be you and Sam anymore. Eventually, you're going to have to add on some employees.
That's the stage that we're at. We are actively seeking out people to help us keep up with demand.
What are you looking for? If they're listening now, how would they know they're the ones that should come talk to you?
Well, it's just, I guess, a good eye for design, some basic skills as far as the trades are concerned, and I'd say we're actively looking. We are, but it's to a point where it's got to be a right fit. It's something that I don't want to put it out there like, hey, come and give us a call and,
right.
and we're going to hire you. But it is something that we're going towards.
Right, and you're very open to ideas. And someone hearing right now about this opportunity to reclaim some wood and come up with something as special and unique as the beer tap handles for Atwater Brewery or anything else. There are lots of ideas out there, Chris, that none of us can think of right now.
They can make me a steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's one I wasn't thinking about.
Yeah.
And what about woods? Have you found any unique woods that you wouldn't find otherwise, or would be hard to find elsewhere?
The majority of the wood that we come across is dimensional lumber. So it's the stuff that was the bones of the homes. And most of it's just old-growth pine, but it's 100 years old, and it's got character that you can't find in the Home Depot or in wood that you would get at the big box stores. It's warped, it's knotted, it shows age.
So this is, I never understood what Lumber Liquidator was, what those companies, and then I heard more about them more recently when they got in trouble because of stuff they were importing from China and the resins that were being used, and it was just there were some bad situations. I'm not saying they're a bad company. I just didn't understand what it meant. But it sounded like they were doing what you're doing, but it isn't what they do.
It's just the name of a store.
It's just the name.
Right.
They're not really finding lumber from, I'm picturing old barns along the way or other places that people used to do on their own. That's not what they do, but it is what you do.
Pretty much. We take what our whole thing from the get-go was to keep as much of this material out of the landfills as we could. I mean, we do a little tiny part of it, but other people do what we do. There's other companies that are making stuff out of the reclaimed material, and we welcome that. We're all about it's threefold, really. It helps reduce the blight in the city. It puts people to work that might not otherwise have a job, and it keeps the stuff out of landfills, and it reuses 100-year-old material. It's a great
that you wouldn't
win.
see otherwise. It would be gone forever.
Exactly.
Right. The real deal. I just noticed, I'm sorry, I saw a motion over here, and I see a man hanging outside the building. It turns out that in a beautiful building like One Woodward in Detroit, there's a lot of glass and a lot of window. There's a window washer right there. Good timing, Stephen. Did you plan that for us? Add a little activity.
He says, "Hi, Paul." Did you see the sign?
Yeah, I did. I actually first saw 2 feet hanging down from the window, and I went, "Oh my God, what's happening?"
On the bottom of his soul, it says, "Hi, Paul W."
Yeah. Well, I guess I missed that part. At this point, your future plans for End Grain Woodworking, Chris?
Paul, we plan to grow. I mean, I don't think I see it stopping anytime soon. Throughout this venture, we've been very fortunate to meet quality people, quality companies, and build relationships with those people. I think that's all we can ask for, is to keep doing that. Build quality relationships, sell more products, keep wood out of landfills, and have fun doing it.
If you'd like to learn more about End Grain Woodworking, you can go to endgraindetroit.wix.com. Is that right?
Yeah, or just endgraindetroit.com works.
All right, endgraindetroit.com works and works well. Chris Behm, thank you so much for being with us, and best of luck with your continued endeavor.
Paul, I appreciate it. Steve, thank you.
Very welcome.
We continue on Opportunity Detroit.